Hello and welcome back to another episode of What SHU Doing. I am your host, Aaron Burrell, alongside my co-host, Paul Guarino.
How's it going, everyone?
And we are back, this time, another illustrious guest, Naomi Santiago.
Hello.
Thank you for joining the pod.
Thank
How you
you for
doing?
having me. I'm doing good. I'm feeling good.
We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Yes, this is our first author, I believe.
Second,
Oh,
Pat.
Second, Pat. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Pat. Yes, sorry.
Shout out to Pat.
Yeah, shout out to Pat. So we love to keep things going. PG, I know you have the bio here. Let's give the people the proper bio.
Come on now, I'm not reading the whole bio.
You know,
But anyway, that's let's just jump right into it. So, how did you end up going to cigar?
well, I was already working in branding and marketing as a consultant, and I ended up getting sick. So I don't know, I have a rebellious spirit. So when I'm in like a dark place, I just do something to, I don't know, feel like I'm combating it. So my original plan after undergrad was to go to graduate school, but in California. But life took its turn. And then Sacred Heart is actually pretty close, and it had a good program. So
and what program
here I
did you?
was at digital marketing.
Digital marketing?
But how did you hear about cigar?
I mean, I'm from
Yeah,
Bridgeport, so
yeah,
I've been not too far from here for a long time.
for sure.
But it was a lot smaller
yeah.
before. Now it's like expanded so
What
crazy.
building were you in?
When for my master's
Yeah.
program in Stanford. Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
Most of my classes were in Stanford. But I don't think that building's. I think they closed it down when
Yeah.
they bought
GE
GE building.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah,
RP
So-
Sacred Heart Stanford.
that's a curveball.
Right, yeah. That's how did you enjoy going to classes in Stanford? Because I think you're the first person I've ever met who went to Sacred Heart Stanford.
it was nice. The building was nice. Obviously, there's a lot of restaurants and stuff. There was a really cool restaurant that was attached to the building.
Okay. Do you remember what it was?
I can't remember right now, but it was like a Latin cuisine, like South American cuisine.
Okay.
And the food was really good. So there was a few times we went as grad students. I want to say like after class, or a couple times we got out early. But most of my classes were there. I had a few here at the Fairfield campus, but yeah, it was mostly in Stanford. I didn't mind it. I made very great friends with the parking garage attendant. He was teaching me Arabic.
All right.
That's a tough
isn't that
language to
crazy?
learn. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Do you still know any Arabic?
Just marhaba.
What does it mean?
I think just like what's up.
Okay. It's a good phrase to
Hello,
know.
I think.
Yeah.
He taught me a few, but he knew a bunch of languages. That is something I can say with Sacred Heart. I mean, obviously he was a garage attendant, but in my program it was so diverse. Like it was a lot of international students. I don't know if undergrad is like that here, but the graduate program, like almost all of my courses, everybody was from all over the world, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah, for sure.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say. So what was your undergrad in?
Music business,
All right.
music
so what?
management.
All right, so what made you like kind of not like it's not really like a switch, but you went to like digital marketing. So what made you pick digital marketing masters?
Well, the music industry is a funky place. And my life had just taken a turn, and I was already working in branding and marketing. And that was kind of by accident, too. I had always planned to work for myself, like, forever. When I was a teenager, I would tell my mom, like, this is how much I'm going to be making by this age. And my mom is a cost accountant, so I would tell her she needs to retire when my business is booming, because she needs to oversee the books, because, of course, you trust your mother with your money more than anybody else. So I've always wanted to work for myself, but I wasn't able to find work. So after undergrad, like I would get like these BS type of gigs, but I was always helping people. And my mom, I think she would just overhear me. So she would be like, you were giving people all these cool ideas and they're going to make money with your ideas, and you over here mad because you can't get a job. You know what I mean? So I just like, all right, well, in the meantime, I'll just start consulting. But a lot of the work I was getting in was like mixed. So I'd get some creative or some entertainment industry stuff, but then I'd also get just your around the way business, small businesses, startups. So I just kept going. And then again, when I got sick, I was like, I'm going back to grad school. I'm not. This isn't gonna take me. so I just liked the program. I was already doing marketing. I did think the program. I misread the program a little bit. So I did think the program was going to be a little more, like have a balance with some of the creative aspects of marketing, but it was so data science heavy, which was great for me though. Like that's more of what I needed because I'm naturally a creative person. So I knew of data and, on like more of a basic level, but we had to work like with big data and we had to learn coding for some of the software and stuff like that. So, C++ is a hard pill to swallow. Just for the record, if you ever have to take a C++ class, that thing hard, okay?
How does the data component play into like what you're doing currently?
So I utilize it a lot in terms of probably more like I still utilize Google Analytics, being able to look at people's, like my clients' numbers in terms of sales or in relation to the marketing efforts, social media, all of those types of things. It does help me strategize better. So my first few clients out of school, that was like, it made it a little more exciting because I wasn't just creating strategy from a listening aspect, right? From like listening to the audience. I was also able to look at certain numbers. So I was able to go into like the back end of their website and see what services people were looking up the most and all those kinds of things. So it kind of structured what I did a lot better. Gotcha. So again, it wasn't what I thought I was getting into, but it was like significantly helpful for me to kind of proceed and offer better services.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like most people, even when you go for something, you kind of end up doing something else or like in the field, but not probably what exactly you thought you were going to be doing. It's interesting. I feel like a lot of people do that. What about like just overall? I know you've been talking about it, but like overall, like what was your experience going to CR?
I liked it. I did wish that I had some courses closer. One for that Stanford drive, but also to. I think that going to Stanford, like kind of lacks community, and it was just us, like just my classes there. It wasn't like, so when I took the computer science courses, it would be here, and I'd see all these other people, whether it be like undergrads, but also to other graduate students who had courses and stuff like that. So I felt a little more a part of Sacred Heart. Being in Stanford, it was kind of like a disconnect. That's why now I'm trying to figure out ways to like get in the alumni space, just because for a second I felt awkward. Yeah, I felt awkward doing it because I'm like, well, nobody's going to know me. But I'm like, who cares? You're still an alumni. You're still a part of the network. So
definitely got to take advantage of it. I want to talk about the book as well. So for those who may not have read it, can you tell them about it?
So I'm a photographer. I have a self-portrait series that I've been doing for years. And then it's also a collection of my journal entries for 6 years. So it's essentially a memoir of my creative self-portraits and then my thoughts and feelings. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did it.
Sharing your personal journal is extremely personal. Like what was
crazy.
I
don't know what I was
thinking. The motivation behind it?
I really feel that sharing is probably more helpful than we know. I know it's scary to do. But sometimes we kind of get stuck in our own world because we forget other people are also going through things, but we also have the same sets of emotions, right? So your story is different from mine, but you felt frustration, you felt joy, you felt grief, sadness, you've laughed till your stomach hurt, like we've all had those things. It's just a little different. So sharing it, that I've had a few people come back to me and kind of pinpoint moments throughout the book that stood out to them that they were connected to, but their story to it was completely different than what my story was. So that was really the intention, to just kind of like be able to make space.
Gotcha. The interesting thing I feel like with books is obviously everyone, as you said, everyone's perspective is different and the way they perceive it is different. How interesting is it for you when you have somebody come up to you and they're saying, oh, I took it in this way. Did you mean it in this way, or did you mean that?
It's so cool because my perception of art is that, right? It's supposed to make somebody think. So for somebody to, there's a entry in there. Literally last night somebody called me, and what they took from the entry is not what was going on. But I was like, wow, I was still like, that's so cool, even though you thought I like did crack or something, but it's still so cool. Like, you know, because the entry is, it just says the day weed didn't work. That's it. So he was like, I was wondering, like, so what worked? Like, what did you end up doing? Like, you know, it really had me thinking. And I was like, I was just cheesing, like, this is great. But in my head, I'm like, he probably thought I was like trying other drugs or something. It's not even what was happening. It was just that I was using it to feel better, and I didn't feel better. That's what the entry really meant, you know? But it's still just so cool to like have people share their experiences with me because of something they read in there. I think that's really special. Definitely. So,
yeah, for sure. How long did it take you to get everything done?
A while. Some of the length was on me, but to put it together didn't take too long because I already had all the material. Originally, when I noticed all my entries, I was like, I should do something with this. And then when I condensed it into one document, I was going to like take new pictures for all the entries. Okay. And then I was like, I have all of it though. And so I started putting the pictures together. Ironically, the pictures go with the entries. Like it flows really nicely. So the pictures are from the year, with the exception of 2 pictures. They are from the year in that chapter. And they just go. Like I gave a copy to my high school English teacher, and she came back with 4 pages of notes, of course, because she's an English teacher. And
what were they?
The notes?
Yeah.
They were great. They were just her like pointing out moments that were like, wow, the picture matched well with this, or there was a point where she related as well. Like she understood what I was feeling. But it was 4 pages. Like when we sat down and I opened the folder, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like she really went through it, which is super dope because she taught us how to journal. Yeah. You know, so for her to put that care and love and be excited for it was really cool.
For sure.
All right, no, I kind of just asked it, but I'm saying like.
Oh, like the timeline. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Went off.
But like, what was it like? When was your first thought of making the book, and then how long did it take to actually make it all come together? Like, how many years?
Not years.
Oh, all right.
I want to say from when I put all of it together in a document to when I let the world know it existed was a year.
Oh, that's fast.
But that was on me, really. Yeah. And I was hoping I would have been able to like get the books printed and done without, like when I said I got a book out, y'all could buy it right now. But that wasn't. It's expensive. Yeah. And it's me. I'm self-published. I didn't like go through anyone else. Every single aspect of the book was me. I did all the research. I found the manufacturer. I'm my warehouse. I am my budget. I'm my marketer. I'm everything for this project. So it could have been done faster. However, it is just me.
I think a year sounds good.
Yeah. I think it sounds pretty fast.
Well, I think I'm saying because I didn't like write it fresh, right? It's a collection of stuff I already had. Yeah. Versus like if I'm like now I want to work on something new, that's going to take me a while. Gotcha. Because it's like brand new. Yeah.
Obviously, going through all of that is a process. Like, what were some of like your biggest learnings throughout that?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind, just because I'm still so sad about it, is they were damaged books, and I didn't know about the process for the damaged books, so I took a loss on like quite a bit of books.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That got damaged in shipping.
Gotcha. They didn't remake them?
They were going to charge me for them.
Full price?
No, but it was still going to be a good amount of money. I mean, they were going to give me 100 extra books in it. Yeah. I probably could still spin around on it, but I still have books to sell, so I'm not whatever. But that's why I'm actually creating a PDF checklist for people if they want to self-publish. I'm going to offer services to assist people with self-publishing, but at the same time, I think that's like a good starting point to just have something with like all the stuff, because that was really an upsetting loss for me. But it's really doable to self-publish, you know?
Really? What was the most like surprisingly, I don't want to say easy because I don't think any of it is easy, but like a part that you thought was going to be a lot more difficult than it was?
I don't actually think it was hard to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Within
I
a
think
year, it's not hard.
I
Breezing through this.
I don't think
AB's
so.
not a really like a creative guy like that.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
No. Don't listen to him.
No. Well, so I got it printed overseas. That was a little challenging because it's a language barrier.
Gotcha.
I wanted to print it here,
Yeah,
but
it was way more expensive.
a lot,
Wow.
like a lot. Like I got let's say for 100 books was the price for 300 books overseas, and then for like an additional, I think it was like $900, I got an extra 200 books.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I would have probably done the same.
Like it's like
Yeah.
I couldn't, no matter what I did. My cousin is a printer technician for Canon, so but like I'm talking about, he installs like the printers that are like size of rooms, like
Gotcha,
like
yeah.
long. They do super cool stuff and all that stuff. So I asked him, hey, do any of your clients print books? But they didn't do certain things that I wanted the book to have. Ironically, my book is supposed to be lay flat. So lay flat binding is like when you open those books and they're just like completely, there's no bump. It's just completely flat.
Yeah.
It didn't end up being that. But that was one of the reasons I had to go over there, because a lot of here doesn't offer that. And then my other cousin works for a book publishing house, like one of the biggest book publishing houses in the country. And she asked around some questions, and apparently a lot of printers here actually are outsourcing overseas anyway, and you're paying the middleman anyway.
Gotcha.
So it's like,
Might as well cut them out. Yeah.
I don't need to do that. I have
Yeah.
an LLC. I got a tax ID. Like, I could do this myself. So,
Yeah.
but I guess there's a lot of steps. So that's, again, why I want to do the PDF. But I don't think it's hard. I think it's just a learning curve, because you don't know what steps to take, But my experiences between, I think I have a cheat code. Like, I built my own website. I do all my own graphics. I do my own photography. I do the writing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a cheat code, but, and I've done so much assistance with production for clients and sourcing materials, sourcing packaging and stuff like that. So it probably is harder than I'm saying. I'm just so used to the process of
Doing all this by yourself.
product releases and.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Gee.
No, I know what you're saying. I made clothing and stuff, so I
Yeah.
had stuff where, the logo was like this way and it's supposed to be straight. And I was just like, okay, I don't know how you messed that up, but all right.
It don't seem,
Yeah.
but it happens.
Even this hat I'm wearing right now, I just noticed today because I just got it like last week, but I didn't wear it yet. And it's like square instead of like my logo is actually more rectangular. And it's like it's like
It is a
square.
perfect square.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything. But anyway, but going off outside of the book, I want to know like what kind of other work you've done, and then maybe like what kind of work that you want to do.
So I've done a lot of websites, but I no longer offer websites.
Yeah, my websites are a pain.
My company is called Alchemy Blue. I don't even know what camera to look in. We don't offer websites no more.
Why?
Yeah, why is that?
Oh,
Because they're a pain, right?
they're so tedious. It's so much back and forth.
And do
like
people
the
look at
littlest
websites
thing,
anymore?
Yeah, they do. It's still important to like legitimize what you're doing, especially if you have a product.
Yeah.
That's like super important. And then even now, I think I plan to get into more speaking engagements and stuff. And I know I need to be able to forward people somewhere. I don't necessarily need to, but it is very nice. It kind of like packages
I
you.
should have said you need like a
smoothly.
more like. I feel like people don't need like a dynamic website anymore.
Yeah, it just depends on your brand.
Yeah.
It depends on what you want.
Yeah.
Not you got to know what your website needs, and then just make sure it's communicating to your audience. But I'm not doing it no more. I really love packaging design. Like, I really, really enjoy packaging design. So I want to explore that a little bit more. And then I am currently working on a partnership deal that would allow me to offer services to some smaller businesses that are more creatively dynamic, because a lot of smaller businesses don't know how to budget for marketing. And then another thing I noticed is they'll like do these grant programs, and then they get this money, which is not a lot of money a lot of the time, but it's something you could do something with. They don't know how to allocate it though. Like, they don't know what to do with the money, because it's not a lot of money, right? Like, you might have got a grant for $5,000. That's nice, but that's not a lot of money, you know? So, I think having a program that kind of also helps them with that process and kind of provides more service than it does just, here's $10,000. But that'll be more, again, it'll be more like advertising based. Gotcha. And on the creative end.
Gotcha. You do a lot of different things, and it's I feel like you fall into this category of people who are like creatives, who it's hard to necessarily say like, oh, they're this, oh, they're that.
I know.
You have like multi-hyphenate.
Is that weird?
No, I think it's dope. I think it's like people who you have you can't be boxed in. So what advice would you have to somebody who also feels like, listen, your bio says you're a creative force. Like, I want to be a creative force. How can I go ahead and go about that?
Create. Do what you want to do. Just do it.
Maybe just do it.
Just do it. I think the person.
I feel like you were asking like personally. I feel like that question was like personal.
No, you know me, P. I create. I create. Listen.
Well, he came at you. He said you were creative. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy considering the
It'd
amount
be your
of
own
creative
people.
things we have done together.
It's your own people.
I'm telling you. Matter of fact, somebody hit me up about a creative project we worked on years ago the other day. I gotta hit you up about this, talk about it. But anyway, back to you, because this is why we're here. So, you gave that advice, and obviously, like, just create is great advice. But for a lot of people, sometimes
it seems hard.
Can be hard.
It's really not. It's us in our own way, right? One thing that always drives me crazy is when adults say things like, "I wish I was creative," and I'm like, "You are. You're just not creating. You're not trying." And I think people just think creativity is just in like the art sense of it all, you know, but it's not. It's creation. It's making something.
Yeah, look at content creators. Like, that's you know, a newer term.
And people shame that, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I hate creating content, but I have to do it. Like right now, me and two of my creative colleagues, I did it back in November, but we're doing like a content challenge where we just bulk create so that we can post throughout the course of a month, or just have the schedule where we do it. And then because we're all like, we're holding each other accountable, and there's one person who like, he really does it. Like, he be on it. So I don't ever want to fall behind or fall short. So I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta just keep up. But that's a job for real.
Yeah.
Creating content is a job.
Yeah, I go on streaks where it's like, I do a lot, and then I do like nothing for like, and I'm just like, all right, I'm good for now.
But I feel like you are able to, what you do, you're able to pull a lot of content from at one time.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm posting a lot, and then I just like stop because I don't know, I'm just like satisfied with it for now. Okay,
that's a good, because you're satisfied is a great answer. Not because you're overwhelmed. Oh, yeah. Because you're satisfied.
It just goes in streak, like timelines.
You're satisfied?
Sometimes.
Wow, this is news to me. You show up all of a sudden, he's like, oh, I'm satisfied sometimes. I never heard this before.
It's new, yeah.
All right, this is a new year, new you. Anyway, Naomi, we talked about advice that you have for other students and stuff like that, and all the things that we didn't necessarily get into projects that you want to work on.
Oh yeah, well that, I guess because the partnership is like really heavy on my mind. But I would love a brand new packaging design client and product design client, because I haven't had that in a while. And yeah, that's probably what I would like to do right now. At least as far as like strictly career wise, those are the two main things. For Ninja, I'm trying to start a workshop series, but I'm if I'm being honest, I'm a little hesitant.
Why is that?
Because I have a problem with always wanting to do things at a very exceptional level. But when you start, it's not going to be exceptional. So it's a little...
Yeah, I think you gotta follow your own
advice.
Just
do it. I know.
Just do it.
I know.
I feel like it's a perfect place to plug your own advice.
That's why I'm here today. Because for that one message. That's really what it is. I've started the process, and I have somebody who really wants me to do I have 2 people who have talked to me about doing it in their respective spaces. And then a OG of mine, he actually does it for an organization. So he was like, contact these people. So it's not like I don't have the opportunities to do it. I just need to do it. You're right. My own advice.
What about, do you have like a dream company that you want to do work for?
That's a great answer. I don't think I have one right now. A dream company.
Brand?
I don't know.
I'm disappointed in you.
Wow.
I wasn't ready.
He came with I'm disappointed.
Because I thought you were going to have like a couple of different ones.
I don't.
All right,
that's fair too.
You could think about it.
I'm going to think about it.
It can always be an ever-changing answer, you know?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I just want to do cool, like, I just want to, can I curse? It's just.
We can bleep it out.
Yeah.
Just cool stuff. I'll say stuff. That's all I was going to say. I just want to do some cool stuff right now.
All right.
But I'm always doing 1,000,001 things, but I don't have a particular, I'm sorry.
That's fair.
I'll give you a homework assignment.
Yes, that is.
We're at SHU. So
gotta give out homework. So where can people find your book if they want to?
On ninjanae.com/shop.
All right.
I think you guys will like it. I've gotten really good reviews.
All right. Final advice for anyone listening that you may have.
Final advice. I guess because I said just do it. It's like that's all that's in my head. But just keep doing the work in whatever that way that is. So whether it's in your career, in your personal space, in a creative space, keep doing the work and let the work lead you.
I like it. That's great advice. Well, we want to thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate your time.
I appreciate it.
All right. This has been another episode of What You Doing. We'll see y'all next time.